Hello, everyone. It's Frank McGuire,
Chris Sabano,
and Jeff Mack,
and Taco Brown.
And this is another episode of Meanwhile, back on the podcast. Well, it's just going to be the boys today. Christina and Saba are off. I don't think we've ever done an all guys episode before. This should be interesting. And we've got somebody new joining us on the pod today. Some of you guys haven't heard from before. Our guest, Taco Brown. What's going on, Taco?
What's up, man? How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
I'm fine. No, I'm just here. I'm excited to be on the podcast, ready to talk about these Avengers that could have been.
Yes, Avengers that could have been. And, well, I guess they're all kind of Avengers, to be honest. Yeah, they all end up being Avengers in some way. On today's episode, we are going to examine alternate universe versions of our favorite MCU characters. However, it's not through some Doctor Strange multiverse shenanigans or Loki's mischief that has afforded us this opportunity, but from an even greater power. Casting directors. The four of us are jumping into the pod to break down all the actors that were considered for the biggest MCU roles, but through a twist of fate or just flat out disinterest, didn't make it to the screen. Although we aren't convinced that turning Robert Downey Jr. into Nicolas Cage wouldn't be the best Loki scheme ever. All this and so much more on this episode of Meanwhile, back on the podcast.
Meanwhile, back on the podcast, four colossal nerds named Saba, Chris, Christina, and Frank have set out to take on a great darkness that has enveloped the world of fandom with their powers of common sense and the strength to take on even the most butthurt Twitter mobs and insufferable comment section trolls. They fight for truth, objectivity, and nuance in the conversation and debate over fictional made-up shit.
So like we said in the lead-in, we got a great episode planned for you guys today. We are doing almost MCU Heroes. What does that mean? Well, you know, we got kind of curious when, it was personal. This is something that I ran into. I was reading a story that Chris Evans turned down the Captain America job 3 times before he accepted it. 3 times. So I was like, I was thinking in my head, I was like, any respectable Hollywood production would have some backups in place, right? But who did they have? And then I found out that Will Smith, of all people, was in talks to play Captain America. And I started digging deeper and I started looking at other films and I started to get blown away by some of the choices these studios made as far as who these actors are and the roles that they wanted them to portray. So we thought it'd be really fun to kind of sit down and go through this list, talk about who we would pick as our top alternative, as they say in the, or understudy, right? They say understudy in the world of Broadway. The top understudy for the MCU heroes we do have. And then obviously, we're going to do what we do. We're going to go back and forth and we're going to debate why somebody's idea is asinine and why somebody's idea is better. And, it'll be a good time. So let's jump right into this. Let's start in chronological order because there's not a lot to really go into on the Incredible Hulk other than Edward Norton was, he was pretty much the first pick for the role. There was rumors that potentially Joaquin Phoenix was being considered for the Incredible Hulk or as Bruce Banner. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that could have been pretty cool. Joaquin Phoenix is the Incredible Hulk.
It probably would have been weird. I think it would have been a different take, especially after watching the Joker. So I don't know. Yeah, it would have been him as the Hulk.
Yeah, and I always relate him to Gladiator too. I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't see him as the Hulk.
The thing is with the Hulk is like it's so directionless that because there's like they didn't really know where they were going with it until Ruffalo put his twist to it.
Yeah.
But I think like the thing is Joaquin Phoenix can fit in whatever container you put him in, right?
Yep.
But it's just like not having a direction for this character would have been a little bit weird to see him try to do his take on it. But yeah, I don't know.
He's got the duality. Like he's definitely got that. He's definitely got the range to kind of dip into both sides of his psyche, you know?
But think about that for a second. Like with Edward Norton, it was already this like too serious of a character that like Mark Ruffalo balanced. But if they put Joaquin Phoenix right after Edward Norton, his trajectory was like dark and serious. I think it would just keep going that way because that's Joaquin Phoenix's like wheelhouse anyway. So I think we were better off with Ruffalo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. I also think like Joaquin, I can't see that guy get mad either. Like it's hard to picture that guy. Like, he seems like a very calm and chill guy. It's just hard to picture him get angry and turn into a big green Hulk. I see Edward Norton turning into a green Hulk. Like See, the stories I've heard of him backstage, right?
Oh yeah, well, and American History X.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But yeah, no,
He's intense, man.
Yeah, there's definitely like Norton taps into a savagery in American History X that is just cool, calm, and collected. The way that he curb stomps that dude.
Dude, that curb stomp, so
incredible, insane, just insane, right?
Yeah, so it's just, you can't not cringe when you hear their bones crunch.
Yeah. No, it's a powerful movie, powerful scene as well. I was thinking though, if you take Eric Bana, who was the first Hulk in the Nick Nolte version, the Ang Lee version, and you combine him with Edward Norton, they kind of hybridized into, like, they would kind of look like Joaquin Phoenix a little bit.
I guess, yeah.
Don't you think? Just a little bit?
I feel like Edward Norton and they will be like a good Mark Ruffalo. I feel like Mark Ruffalo come out of that.
Yeah, I guess Ruffalo could come out of Eric Bana and Norton being combined too. But like Ruffalo is, Bana has a very, very thin face, and so does Norton. Or like long face, not thin face, long face. So I don't know, maybe. Anyways, let's move on. Iron Man gets a little more exciting. Apparently, well, let's talk about some of the director stuff that was kind of bubbling on the surface when the movie was in development. Apparently, Quentin Tarantino was in talks to potentially work on the project.
Whoa.
That would have been
that would have been crazy.
That would have made a splash in the entire universe.
That war scene in the desert probably would have been more. Yeah,
We wouldn't. I don't think we'd have the MCU if he did that.
I think so.
That'd be a one-off movie.
You don't make a Quentin Tarantino puzzle piece and try to put it in with just like you don't do a Nolan puzzle piece and try to fit it into a DC thing. I would have loved to have seen that movie, but I'm glad we didn't because
it probably
the MCU would have. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so it probably would have been a different Tony Stark in general, right? Like, what kind of Tony Stark would we got out of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard Tarantino's pitch for a Star Trek movie, but it's really fucked up and it's kind of odd. It's not really your quintessential Star Trek story. It's kind of avant-garde. It's kind of abstract. It's almost like this Lynchian kind of approach to Star Trek a little bit. So I don't know if I would want Quentin Tarantino to be involved with that particular project.
See, I would want a Quentin Tarantino Iron Man movie now that it's all done, right? I want to see his take on it for sure because that would be hilarious and probably amazing, but not as part of like this bigger ensemble.
Yes, give us the Tarantino parodies of all the Marvel movies.
Yeah. I would love to see that.
Like Disney Plus does like that What If series. So instead of like with like actors, they should do like What If with directors. Like,
True, yeah.
Directed this movie.
So
Tarantino directed all these. Wow.
So, and then Whedon was apparently attached to the project, who's been in the news an awful lot lately. Oh my God. Did you guys hear that Michelle Trachtenberg said that she wasn't, it was a rule on the set that she wasn't allowed to be in the same room with him alone? How crazy
I did
is
hear
that?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Because how old was Michelle Trachtenberg back then? Like 14, 13?
Something like that, yeah.
When she was playing Buffy's sister?
Buffy, she was like 13, I think.
Yeah, she was pretty young.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man. Yeah, apparently even a lot of other Buffy the Vampire Slayer cast, I think even like Charisma, I forgot what her last name is,
Yeah, Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah, she ended up saying stuff too, right? And I don't know, yeah. But it's crazy too, because it's not like I feel like there's nothing that, especially when it comes to the MCU, at least like until he probably left and then like Justice League, there's nothing he didn't touch, right? I feel like he touched something, right? Like script wise or something, right? He was the MCU guy.
So other directors, Nick Cassavetes that did The Notebook. Oh my God, I'm glad we dodged that bullet. Well, actually, The Notebook from a film perspective is actually a pretty good movie.
It would have at least have been competent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the tonally, I don't know.
Yeah, the tonal I think would have been off. So as far as our Tony Starks go, this is where it gets really interesting, guys. And I want to know your top pick for the alternate Tony Stark here. Nick Cage was attached to the project in 1996. Tom Cruise was going to develop as a starring vehicle for himself in 1998. Clive Owen was considered. Sam Rockwell was considered. Hugh Jackman was actually offered the role. And Timothy Olyphant screen tested for the part. Wow. Okay, I'm going Olyphant. I'm going Olyphant. If I'm going to get a backup to Robert Downey Jr., who's basically the personification of Tony Stark, the way that he plays him, he actually brings that character to life, and he's You see him and you identify him as Tony Stark, 100%. Right? I'm going to say Timothy Olyphant as far as my alternate goes.
Me, I think it would have been an interesting choice if it was Nicolas Cage. To be honest, I was actually just watching the National Treasure movies over the weekend, and I was like, "Wow, he's very suave." You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember if in the second one he ends up like kidnapping the vice president, the president. He's like in a suit, like he's all like, I can see Nick Cage being a nice Tony Stark. He's all frantic and stuff.
I don't know, man.
I can't take him seriously anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's handsome enough either. Like I don't think he's got the look.
Okay, here's the thing: if I can make a Timothy Olyphant and Sam Rockwell hybrid, that would be, because here's the thing: Timothy Olyphant would have the look, but he's a little bit too old and he's a little bit like probably not as witty. But Sam Rockwell has that, right? Like he's got like he played his goddamn he played what's his name, Hammer,
Justin
right?
Hammer,
which is pretty much like
he was
like
great,
the copycat of Tony Stark, but he was he was like purposely playing as like a ridiculous version of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So he could definitely play Tony Stark, but I just don't see him like physically as Tony Stark. So if they could just make like a mutant of those two actors, that's my pick.
Okay, Chris, I don't mind your choices, but I think we got to remember when Stan Lee created Tony Stark and he created Iron Man, he was basically looking at Errol Flynn, right? Clark Gable and Errol Flynn, as far as like the physicality of that role, right? Like the look of that particular character.
Right.
That was the inspiration for it. I don't think Sam Rockwell has the leading man looks to kind of...
That's exactly what I said. I don't think he's got the physical looks to do it, but he's got the mirth, like the airiness.
He's got the soul. He's got the personality. He's got the range.
Yeah, the personality.
Yeah.
He's got that asshole like humor down. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about Oliphant for a second. Let's talk about Oliphant just for a sec, because we haven't heard Javier's pick yet, or Taco's pick. Sorry, we haven't heard Taco's pick yet. Oliphant doesn't swing his arms. Does anybody notice that? He doesn't swing his arms.
No, I don't think I've ever read into it like
what
that.
What do you mean?
Like I think he does. Like I think he does it now. But when he was up for this role, I think was around the same time he did Go, and whenever he walks, he doesn't swing his arms.
Oh, okay. Well, it's up to the director to stop that, right? But
I think, but that could have been really funny to see him in the Iron Man suit, not swinging his arms, because that's so much bigger part of the robotic movements, right? Like,
actually, now that you mention it, he doesn't have the physical look either. If you like, he's got the face
but he's a Hollywood leading man.
But when he walks, have you ever seen him walk? He walks like a cowboy. Like he
is a cowboy, 100%.
But like that's not Iron Man though. Like there's no like, it's a different kind of arrogance. It's not like testosterone arrogance, not like I own the world arrogance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I actually don't even think he like, if they CGI'd his body the whole time, right? Maybe you CGI Sam Rockwell's body to his head, then we have something.
Interesting take.
Hugh Jackman was an interesting choice, though.
Yes, Hugh Jackman is an interesting choice, but
I think he could do it, right? But I just don't know.
But wasn't he already Wolverine?
I mean, obviously he was Wolverine. Like that's the thing. We probably couldn't erase that image in our head.
Yeah.
But, you know,
well, I mean, he's forever Wolverine. Like changing him like halfway through, like a movie series would be kind of messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be.
Well,
I think
it was
that would
different
be
universes
odd.
back then, right?
It'd be hard to see him as a billionaire after seeing him with claws coming out of his hand.
we all knew the universes were going to match up eventually.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we still had the whole Chris Evans debacle with playing two different MCU characters, but you know, whatever.
That worked out in our favor. Let's be real.
Yes, I agree. I do agree with that. Jeff, what's your pick?
Jeff, what's your pick, buddy?
Honestly, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would have done a dope job. Like Is it
because of Hammer? Is it
not even because of Hammer? Honestly, they only gave him that role because that's why they really liked him. They liked him so much for the role. They gave him Justin Hammer. They wanted him to have a big role because they liked him so much for Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he must have done something right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I like that we all glossed over Tom Cruise because I agree.
Yes.
We should gloss over
we
Tom
should
Cruise.
gloss over Tom Cruise.
Yeah, because Tom Cruise would turn it into a Tom Cruise movie and then would get Top Gun in an Iron Man suit.
There would have been something about Scientology in it, and then I would have been totally disinterested.
Yeah, I'd be like Thanos is their spaghetti god.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right, Pepper Potts. Apparently, Rachel McAdams was Favreau's first choice.
Yo, I'm down for that.
I'm down for that too.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
I don't hate Gwyneth Paltrow like the rest of the world seems to do, but I think Rachel McAdams is like, I just love Rachel McAdams. I think she would have been perfect for that role.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and we still got her in as a love interest for Doctor Strange, right? So we still end up getting to see her. But seeing her in Doctor Strange, just makes you wonder. Wow, she would have been an awesome Pepper Potts. Like I could see Rachel McAdams putting me in place. Like she could definitely put Tony Stark in place.
If they didn't choose the right Tony Stark for this movie, the MCU probably would have never gone anywhere.
100%.
That's my I don't know. That's how I feel about it, and I'll tell you why I feel that way about it. Because tonally, Marvel had to deal a counterpunch to DC's Batman, right? Like they had to stand out. They had to have their own identity. They needed to cut their own little piece of the pie. You know, they needed something of their own, with their own tone, their own look, their own feel. And I think given the current like the movie, like the current, like the blockbuster movies that were trending at that time were all comedy driven, right? They were all comedy driven. And I really think Marvel sat down and they were like, listen, if we're going to do this first Marvel movie, we need somebody who can bring the comedy to the actual screen. We need somebody who can deliver a lot of laughs. And I think that's why they chose Iron Man over Captain America as far as their first true MCU movie goes, you know, because it is the quintessential opposite of DC. It's the entire, like, it's the antithesis of DC. Like Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are the antithesis of each other. And it's hilarious because Tony Stark represents exactly what the MCU is, and Bruce Wayne represents exactly what the DC universe is. Mm-hmm. You know, dark.
At least the Justice League universe, like not necessarily all of DC.
That's true, yeah,
I'd say, but like,
still very dark.
When you mix them all together, yeah. Well, that's the thing about Batman. It's like it's like that oil. When you mix oil with water, right? It's just like when you put Batman in anything, everybody adopts his darkness. Yeah. So I'd agree with you. The same thing with Iron Man, right? Like everybody has to match Iron Man's energy when they're all in the same room with him. So yeah, I get exactly what you mean for sure.
See, that's the thing though. I don't think we should be talking about the importance of actual like Iron Man, like in quotes, because I think that this movie relied on Tony Stark. You know, because you put they could do the same thing they did with the Mandalorian. There could be another guy in that suit the entire fucking time for all we know.
You mean the actor? Right?
Yeah.
Not
right.
Okay, yeah.
So because of the nature of the suit, the most important role in this entire endeavor for Iron Man was to cast the perfect Tony Stark. Right. Mm-hmm. If anything, Tony Stark was more important, and I think that's the reason why they picked this film to be the first, is because as far as personalities go, as far as like a dynamic, interesting, you know, great sense of humor, sex appeal, like checking all the boxes as far as what is currently trending in the movie theaters when Iron Man is released, Tony Stark checks all those boxes. Like his superpower is his personality.
I agree.
Yeah, fair, 100%.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I you know, it's an interesting project to kind of zoom out from and really kind of, you know, unpack a little bit. And Favreau is the perfect director because Favreau has an amazing personality as well, just as a human being. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but for IFC, the channel, Favreau started his own little TV show called Dinner with Five. And he would just invite like his friends to go have dinner at a restaurant. They would just film it. And he like, Stan Lee was there a couple times. Kevin Smith was there a couple times. Affleck, Matt Damon, Sarah Silverman. And they would just do these like, they would just have like these dinners, like
that's
these
cool.
Dinners with friends. And that's all it was just people at a table talking and having dinner. It was pretty cool, man. All right, so let's move on to Black Widows, because this is really interesting. A lot of these choices I hate. Okay, so first off, the one, let's start with the one that had to pull out, that opened the door for Scarlett Johansson. Emily Blunt.
Yes.
Emily Blunt does not make a good Black Widow.
I think she would. I beg to differ. I think she would have killed it.
Nah, I don't think so. She doesn't have it. Like, she doesn't have the
I'm
body.
on the fence.
She doesn't have the body. She doesn't have the curves. Like, Black Widow is this just...
They would have put her through a workout.
I mean, yeah, they would have
if
got her
that
there.
was the
And
case. I'm not even agreeing that that's the
if
case.
they can CG Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider, they can do anything.
Did they CG Angelina Jolie's body in Tomb Raider?
Her chest specifically.
Seriously?
Yes. They made it bigger because hers aren't big enough to fit Tomb Raider from Lara Croft from the game.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yo, really? I didn't know that either.
Oh my god. I think there's a lot of people hearing that for the first time on this show, because like I don't think a lot of people knew this.
No, I don't think
I don't think a lot of people knew this. Do me a favor. This is the first time you're hearing about Angelina Jolie having her chest CGI'd for the Tomb Raider movies. Tweet us, okay? Meanwhile_pod, or hit us up on Instagram, because this is shocking to me. That's very sad. I'm sorry, but she has a great body, and the fact that they had to CGI her chest to meet these fucking insane proportions that they had in video games, that's so stupid. That is so dumb. So dumb. Anyways, okay. So Jeff was saying he agrees with the Emily Blunt choice. Okay. Taco, how do you feel about Emily Blunt as Black Widow?
I think she would have been fine. I think she's badass. She kick ass. Like she's a female action star. You know what I'm saying? I think especially after seeing her in Edge of Tomorrow, I think that's what she dropped.
No, it was a Disney movie, a different Disney movie.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Mary Poppins.
No.
Yeah.
Was it Mary Poppins?
Was it really?
Yeah. I think she was locked into contract for Mary Poppins, and she couldn't get out and fit the timing for Black Widow.
Wow. They're like, we can't. They were like, we can't have Mary Poppins be an assassin. Sorry.
Yeah, and then especially seeing her in Edge of Tomorrow, she's definitely like, I could definitely see her like kick ass. You know what I mean?
Okay, Chris. Emily
For
Blunt.
me, I think Emily Blunt would have grown on us. Like, I think she's a good enough actress.
I don't know.
But she's a really good actress.
Don't forget, we wouldn't have ScarJo to compare to, right? So
exactly.
So it'd be very different.
Okay, fair.
She's not my favorite choice even on this list. But I think like if she had done it, I would have no complaints at all.
Okay, fair. But I'm sorry, Emily Blunt does not match up to the comic book version of the Black Widow. It just doesn't, right? Like, and I don't think she looks Russian at all. Like when I look at ScarJo, I'm like, she could be Ukrainian, she could be Russian, right? But as far as Emily Blunt, she looks like a British woman, because she is a British woman, right? She looks like a British woman. Like when I see her, I expect a British accent to come out of her mouth even before I knew that she was British, right? That's not a bad thing, right? I say the same thing about Alice Eve. I'd say the same thing about Keira Knightley. I'd say the same thing. Like, I expected Natalie Portman to be British, to be honest with you. Anyways, nice segue, Frank. Natalie Portman was up for the role. Apparently.
Nah. Is
I'm not feeling Natalie Portman either. Okay. Angelina Jolie was up for the role.
Maybe if she was like, maybe if she was like 10 years ago when she was like, I don't know. Not
during Tomb Raider, but like her
CGI
actual proportions. Yeah, I think she could have done it. Jessica Alba, nope, I'm not feeling that.
No, she's tested herself in
American.
action stuff and didn't do very well.
No,
that wasn't her fault though. That was the
Right.
director's fault. Like the director fucked her up in that movie, man.
It's true.
Like that whole thing. You know that's why she quit acting, right?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
because of Fantastic Four.
So she had a crying scene, and then the director went up to her and she said, "Okay, you have to cry, but I want you to keep your face as beautiful as possible with no emotion. just because we can't mess up your face. If I was an actress, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm out. Like, what is that shit? Like." You have to you're only eye candy. You can't show emotion.
Word.
Fuck you, asshole.
Word. I would say the same thing, dude.
And that's why she quit. And that's why she quit acting.
Wow.
And that wasn't even. So we lost Jessica Alba because of that fucking movie.
I think we all need to shame that director and cancel culture him. What a jackass.
Well, let's not.
No.
Let's not participate in
No,
that.
no. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, so can we all agree that the Black Widow needs some kind of ethnicity in her? Like,
honestly, like you'd be surprised what makeup and costume will do,
I agree.
and an accent.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
But for me, like the next, let me just call out my choice here because you haven't called her out yet. Jessica Biel, I think.
I love Jessica Biel. She's my backup.
Is my Black Widow.
Yeah, she's my
Like,
backup.
I don't know. I think she would have done it. She's like already a kick-ass action star.
Yep.
You know, like we've seen her in so many.
Oh my
action
God! In
movies
Blade,
already.
how good was she in Blade Trinity?
Good. So good.
How good was she in Blade Trinity? Holy shit! No, she would have been ideal. Like,
she was my choice.
yeah. And Gemma Arterton, I don't even know who that is. Does anybody know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is she?
She did that Huntsman movie. What else has she
Huntsman.
done? Yeah, she was in the Huntsman movie. She played like the partner to the Huntsman.
She did Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel. Yeah.
Oh, Prince of Persia.
Right. She was the
she could have pulled it off
at the temple when they.
Huh?
She could have pulled it off.
I think so. I don't like the badassness doesn't scream out at me, but I think they could have built up on it. But no, Jessica Biel for me.
Yeah, I was thinking of Hansel and Gretel, not Huntsman. You're right, Chris.
Yeah, she definitely could have pulled it off. She's got a very she could pass for Russian, 100%.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool because Hansel and Gretel was her and Jeremy Renner, so they already know that. Like we already know that they have chemistry. You know what I mean? So as Black Widow and Hawkeye, I think like their on-screen chemistry would have been nice, but I still think she's not like the best choice. But yeah.
Has anybody actually watched that movie, the Hansel and Gretel?
I have.
Yeah.
No,
I have. It was if you lower your standards, it's good. It's one of those movies where you're like, I don't care if it sucks. I'm just gonna.
Cool. Okay, so the next one that kind of caught my eye was Eliza Dushku, because we all saw her in that cat suit in Dollhouse. She looked pretty awesome. But we also saw her in that cat suit in the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back movie, where she literally like looks like the Black Widow, like she's a jewel thief. So I think she could have pulled it off, and she's got a little bit of that, you know, Eastern European kind of look to her, like ScarJo does, and I think Jessica Biel does, and Gemma Arterton. I think they've all got that. So I think, so as far as my backup goes, I'm picking Jessica Biel. Like she would be my understudy for ScarJo. So you're picking Jessica Biel?
Yes.
Jeff, what do you pick? Who you picking?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Okay. Cool. Taco, who you picking, pal?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Blunt.
Yeah?
Emily Blunt,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So 2 for Emily Blunt and 2 for Jessica Biel. Interesting. I think Jessica Biel would beat up Emily Blunt, so I think we win. But...
All right, this is the only one way to solve this. We get them to fight to the death.
Hey, if McGregor can start calling out random people in the world, you know, to fight, why can't we do that with Jessica Biel and Emily Blunt?
We should just like set up the match and not even tell them, and just like bring them there and just tell them it's like a surprise theater show or something.
Okay, so we were singing the praises of Sam Rockwell's portrayal of Justin Hammer. Amazing. So good, right? Like he actually made Thor 2 more watchable. Not Thor 2, sorry, Iron Man 2. He actually made Iron Man 2 more watchable. Well, so did Scarlett Johansson. And honestly, I don't think it's bad as everybody says it is. Like it's not my favorite. It's not even in my top 10, but it's one that I can get through pretty easily. Like there's a lot of really cool shit in that.
Me too.
In that movie.
Once you have a scene with Iron Man and War Machine back to back, like I'll watch the rest of that boring movie. I don't care. Like that's he made it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just give me cool shit with the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I gotta say definitely for Iron Man 2 is that Black Widow was definitely a show stealer. Like every time she was on screen, she always just made me laugh, and her chemistry too with Tony, like Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. Like they definitely had definitely a lot of laughs and a lot of watching her flip Jon Favreau in the ring. Like, definitely show stealing moments in the show. Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah, and she looked unbelievable the entire film, like the entire movie. The part where Tony's going through her resume and he's pulling up like lingerie photos of her. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Just checking your qualifications.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that would not go over well in today's modern times. You would not be able to do that.
Right in front of Pepper Potts, too.
Yeah, right in front of Pepper, yeah. Okay, so the reason I brought up Justin Hammer is because Al Pacino is considered for the role.
For Justin Hammer?
For Justin Hammer.
Weird.
I think that would have been interesting, but
I don't think that would have been interesting at all.
I don't know.
It would have had to have gone a different direction than what we got. But like he does embody that whole like he's a different type of billionaire, right? Like he can embody that, but he can't be that whole antithesis to Tony Stark that we actually did get in the second movie. I don't know. It's a weird choice. But if they had a plan for it, he's the heavy hitter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so on to the red, white, and blue, on to Captain America. And as I said at the top of the show, I think I mentioned that Will Smith was actually considered for the role at one point. And funny enough, directors Jon Favreau and Nick Cassavetes were considered to direct this movie as well, or an earlier incarnation of the movie, which I think is interesting. Marvel obviously has, they probably shortlist their favorite directors and then they kind of throw as many projects at them as possible and try and see if there's a right fit. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think surprisingly, Nick Cassavetes is the Notebook guy, right?
Yes, the Notebook guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I coincidentally, I think he would have done okay with a Captain America movie, right? Because he's done wartime before, and he's done and Captain America is very full of heart, right?
Yep.
And Jon Favreau, I think, would have done really well as well.
I think Favreau could have done really well with it too, but I can't remember the name of the director. I think his name is Andrew Johnson or Jack Johnson, or someone want to look that up for me while I.
What for Captain America? I think it's
Joel Johnson. That's it. Joel Johnson.
Nice one.
So Joel Johnson, yes, he was the director of the film. And honestly, for a period piece, I loved it. I thought that movie was amazing. There was a lot of the action sequences I felt were a little, I don't know, kind of hammy at points. But I really liked the movie. I thought it was great. And I kind of knew how it was going to end going into it. So, yeah. All right. So let's talk about who was up for the role of Steve Rogers, because this is interesting. So Sam Worthington was also in talks with Marvel for the role of Steve Rogers. Everyone knows who Sam Worthington is?
Mm-hmm. I will in a second.
Clash of the Titans?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the modern Clash of the Titans. And he was in that
Avatar.
movie about...
I think he's in Terminator too.
Yeah,
no?
he was into... Yeah, he was
Salvations?
in... Yeah, was it Salvations? Yes, Salvations.
Yeah.
Wasn't his biggest role Avatar? You know, James Cameron's movie?
Yes, Avatar. Yes. Yeah, true. So Worthington, I don't know. He doesn't look like a Steve Rogers to me. That's my immediate.
I mean, if they blonde him up, sure. You know?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
I don't see why not. Like, he's got the fucking all-American jawline and shit. So
Yeah.
I guess that's probably like a big part of it. It's like, how's your jawline, right? You'd be like, let's check your jawline, sir. Let's see how you're doing here. Garrett Headland. Does anybody know who Garrett Headland
I
is?
actually don't. Who's that?
I don't think I do off the top
Okay,
of
let's
my
look
head.
up Garrett Headland.
He did Tron. He was the kid in Tron, Sam Flynn.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So like a very kind of young.
Very young.
Yeah.
He could play the skinny version of Captain America.
I was gonna say it's hard to see anyone other than Chris Evans. To be honest, it's just so hard.
You sure about that? Krasinski?
Yeah. No, I think the closest person. I don't know. I don't
Krasinski
even know.
looks.
That was a biased
Krasinski looks
opinion.
amazing in the Captain America outfit. The one that Boss
Yeah.
Logic did looked incredible.
Yeah, Krasinski. Okay, so here's my issue with Krasinski. He's just too much of a comedian. Like he's too
Have you
funny.
watched The Quiet Place?
No, I don't want to. Like, I'm not into that. That's not my genre. I don't get down with horror or
Okay.
any that kind of shit.
Not
It's
very funny in that one, I can tell you that.
No, I get that. He's not funny in as Jack Ryan either.
True.
In what do you call it?
In Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan. Yeah, that's the name of the show. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because all the Jack Ryan movies had their own other like that other title.
Yeah.
So I was like, did they call it Jack? Yeah, that's right. They called it Jack
Yeah,
Ryan.
the Tom
Okay.
Clancy movies, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after Garrett Headland, Channing Tatum.
Ew, no.
Immediate reactions.
I can
Who?
see
No.
it. I can see it.
I could see it
I
as
can
like a
see it, but I
comedic
won't- I
thing,
don't
like if
like
it was a
it.
parody, but not. I don't think he could pull the role off.
I think if he was older, you could do it. He doesn't
I
have
just-
so much of a baby face.
I would
then you
just
could
see him
pull
as
it off.
21 Jump Street, and I'm like, I can't do it.
That was before 21 Jump Street, though. You know. I
Okay,
think he
then
could
there
have done
was
it.
Step Up. There was like, no, man.
But like counterpoint, Chris Evans did like teen movies before. He did not another
That
teen
is
movie
true.
and shit.
That is true.
Like he you can graduate into it, right? But like, well, before we move on, because I don't know if we'll like address it again. John Krasinski, I agree with you, Jeff, that he looks really good in the suit, but I just don't really see him as like the Boy Scout type. He seems more of like this like mirthful like
then watch
rebel.
Jack Ryan. He's very Boy Scoutish in that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I
he's
guess.
definitely got the. He can definitely tap into that, his patriotism, 100%.
Mhm.
I definitely think that would
I
not
don't
be a
see that.
problem.
I do like him in the suit though. Like he looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
I think him with a beard, I think he kind of look bad in a suit. Like he just looks so like superhero with that beard. If you ask me, like.
Well,
it's just
you
hard
couldn't
to-
do Cap with a beard right away. That's not going to pass muster. I don't think that would ever happen. But okay, so I want to circle back to Will Smith for a second because we never really even talked about that. Somebody said to me, one of our Instagram followers said that, Will Smith has got this kind of way he approaches projects where, like, when he finds a movie he wants to do, he goes and pitches his idea of what it should be.
Yeah,
And then
that's
if
the
somebody-
problem. Then he would have Will Smith
Yeah.
the movie, and I don't
Yeah.
think Captain America would have done well.
Yeah.
He's like Tom Cruise. He takes over the script and like rewrites most of it and changes it to his
Yeah.
liking to make himself look better. I don't know, man.
Exactly, and it works for certain things,
Yeah.
but not. I
Like,
don't think for
but
this.
like
the
for
thing is,
their
like,
own projects,
Deadshot.
not for like projects that are
Deadshot-
handed to them like this. No. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Deadshot for me made like worked. It worked. He changed it. He Will Smithed it up. That's a weird like new word that we made up, but I think it worked for that particular project. I don't think this one would have worked at all.
Okay, but here's the question. Was this going to be Steve Rogers or were they going to do Isaiah Bradley?
I don't know. We don't know.
No,
But I
yeah,
mean,
that's-
if they're gonna
that's
do
precisely the
Avengers, it
problem,
would
right?
probably be Steve Rogers, wouldn't it?
Well, true.
If they
but-
did Isaiah, then I don't think we'd have the MCU we have right now.
True. No, and I agree with that. But let's face facts, folks. Will Smith is an African American male. There was no fucking way they were going to get away with making Steve Rogers an African American. Like that's just.
I mean,
that would never
okay,
fly.
It would.
especially not
they
through a
they would
business
make
like
the
Disney.
movie, but it would not have grown into the MCU that we have today.
Yeah, you had to use Steve Rogers. Like,
Okay, but yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't see Marvel's management thinking that this is a good idea to race swap Captain America. Okay, because there's obviously iterations of Captain America who are black, right? So this not only would have, what I'm trying to say is that this would have made all the Captain Americas black, like all the cinematic Captain Americas black, right? Because the Falcon we're suspecting is going to progress to being the new Captain America, right? That's where we're kind of seeing things go. Like, Sam Wilson is going to become the new Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody's suspecting. Isaiah Bradley, who's apparently also going to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, was the first Captain America.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think maybe Will Smith came in pitching the Isaiah Bradley project. That's my suspicion. I don't think he was pitching a black Steve Rogers, dude. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either, and I guess that's why they didn't take the project,
probably.
because it wasn't right.
It didn't fit for their 10-year plan, because they had everything planned for like the next decade, right? So it didn't fit into the story.
Core Avengers,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through this list really quickly, and then you guys stop me when you hear a name you want to talk about. Scott Porter. I like Scott Porter. He played Jason Street on Friday Night Lights. I think he could have been the perfect he's the perfect physical representation of Steve Rogers, 100%. But he's a TV actor, and he really doesn't have a lot of films under his belt. So maybe that's one of the reasons he was probably passed over. But he could have been great. Mike Vogel. Does anybody know who Mike Vogel is?
Not really.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna look him up real quick.
My boy Sebastian Stan.
Oh, Mike Vogel. He's done like a bunch of horror flicks and stuff like that. He was kind of like low key.
Oh, he's a model. No, I'm not feeling that guy.
No,
not feeling that guy.
I mean,
okay,
he could have. Okay, let's be real. He could have came completely out of left field and blown us all away. He doesn't have a lot of like big time like main movie experience. So who knows at that point?
He doesn't have character baggage.
Yeah, we have nothing to really hold him to.
That's true. No, very, 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 very true.
Why is Chris Evans on the list?
Well, because he turned down the role three times.
Oh, I see.
Turned it 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times.
Because he was perfect for the role.
RDJ had to literally go to his house and talk him into it.
Yep. Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, was considered for Steve Rogers.
I mean, he could have done it, but I'm glad he did it.
Yeah, he's a dope Winter Soldier. I couldn't see him playing otherwise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment. Wilson Bethel, who played Dex in Daredevil season 3, who played the Bullseye, like the guy that ends up being Bullseye. You guys remember him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see him as that.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see him as that. Chase Crawford, who the fuck is that? Let's see. The list for Captain America is pretty goddamn long, guys.
I mean, they had to choose the perfect
because
one.
there's a lot of people that could play him, honestly.
Chase Crawford seems like also kind of like he would have been a complete left field. Not a lot of things. He's like been in a one-off of a bunch of TV shows and shorts.
Yeah, he doesn't work.
Isn't he the Deep Blue from The Boys?
No.
The what?
The big. Isn't he it looks like the Big Deep.
Oh, he looks like the Deep a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of.
I don't think it's him though, is it?
No.
Kind of looks like it was.
No.
Yeah, it is. He says he's in a.
It.
Says the
Oh,
Boys
is
right
it?
here,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, no, not that guy.
No, definitely not that guy.
No, not that guy.
That guy screams like teen drama heartthrob.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's why he was the perfect for the Deep, because
Yeah.
he's so douchey.
Yeah, that show's awesome, dude. All right, Michael Cassidy. I'm looking this guy up right now too.
Nope, definitely not. Jimmy Olsen from BVS? Hell no.
Oh, is he Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah, from BVS.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nope, that's a pass.
All right. Okay, Jensen Ackles.
Yes.
Okay, why though?
He's got the look. He's got the
Because he's got the all-American like jawline.
Jawline.
Okay.
No, like he definitely has it. I think he keep tapping to like the deeper like soldier like. Sorry.
He's got the body. He's got the height. I think he could have done a really good job.
Yeah.
But the only problem is the transference from like small like TV shows to big time would have been weird.
That's been disproved. Like that kind of stuff. Like that's a barrier that can be easily broken.
It can be for sure
with the right motivation.
Yeah. And it depends on the person.
Stigma.
I think he was perfect.
Yeah. I think that's a stigma.
Yeah, I think he could have definitely tapped into like the whole like the deeper soldier source of a character, like character inspiration. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to say like for him it's difficult. Like for like the audience, imagine the audience going like, he's only done Supernatural up until now and like a couple other things, right, on the CW.
That's the reason.
So him going from that to like the major screen as Captain America would have been weird for fans, I think.
Yeah, that's the reason why I think why I do want him to take this is because like he's been underutilized by Hollywood. like he's actually a really good talent. You know, like he in that show's like cringy a lot of the times. I do love it. I've seen almost all the seasons, but there's some really deep scenes, like individual scenes, and really good performances by Jensen Ackles. It doesn't really get seen by anybody except for like the female fans of Supernatural, because that's what that show has devolved to.
Yep. No,
I still
totally
watch
agree
it.
with that.
It's me too.
I don't watch. I've never seen a fucking lick of that show.
I'm only up to season 9, but
Yeah.
still, it's a good show.
Okay, so let's go through these other ones because there's just fucking so many names. That
Holy shit, is Dane Cook on this goddamn
yes,
list?
Dane
Yeah.
Cook is on this
Yeah.
list.
Why? They really
Dane
tried
Cook is on
everyone,
this
didn't
list.
they?
I thought I saw Charlie Hunnam on here, but now I don't. Why don't?
No,
oh, he's in
he's
Thor.
for Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Thor. Okay, all right.
Oh my god, the Jonas
Yes,
Brothers.
the Jonas Brothers.
Like,
Kevin and
all
Joe.
three of them.
Kevin and Joe.
No, just 2.
Okay, if you
I think
had to
Nick would have
choose
been a
between
better
the
one.
Jonas Brothers, I think Kevin for some reason. I don't know why.
I would
don't
say
even-
scrap the entire movie. I don't want the Jonas Brothers in my film.
I can't even tell them apart still. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not like okay. Well, Joe. Okay, so from what I've seen from Joe in what do you call it, Jumanji? Maybe
That's Nick.
No, that's
Oh, that's Nick?
He's
Oh,
not, he
okay.
wasn't even in
Alright.
it.
All right, cool.
I'd rather have him than those
Yeah,
two.
that makes more sense.
He is the
to me,
more
that
famous
guy.
Jonas brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a fit guy too. I don't see the other guys as fit. Like that's the one that gets all the
Joe
girls.
Joe used to before Nick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, Alexander Skarsgård. That's I think
I don't know,
pulled
man.
that
I'd look at him. He'd be like, that's the Hydra
That's
Captain
Loki
America.
or something. yeah.
off. That's true. The Hydra Captain America. That's true. Okay. All right, Agent Carter. I like a lot of these. I think all 3 of these could have been incredible.
Did you also not know that what do you call it? Star-Lord Chris Pratt was also up for the role of Captain America.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chris Pratt was also one of the major choices. He was actually the top choice before Evans.
How's it not in this article?
I have no idea. But they held him back and they kept him in mind, and that's why he got Star-Lord, because he already tested for Captain America. That's why they gave him Star-Lord.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think he also auditioned for. I think it was Chris Pine. I think he auditioned for Star Trek. Chris Pratt, I think, also auditioned
Okay.
for it too.
Oh yeah, for Kirk. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. I
Yeah,
would
for
not be
Kirk, yeah.
surprised at that. Yeah, I would not be. And did Chris Pine audition for Captain America?
I don't know. I don't think Chris Pine dipped into anything MCU.
Oh shit, that's kind of surprising. Because I said this in our Wonder Woman episode or our spoiler hot review, but Steve Rogers and Steve Trevor are more or less
The same
the
person
same
without
fucking
powers.
character. Yeah. Yeah, one has a super soldier serum and the other does not. But yeah, they're basically the same
Yeah.
character.
One is a super soldier. One thinks he's a super soldier.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So Agent Carter, Alice
But
Eve.
Frank, maybe somebody else should read Agent Carter, just to break up the. Unless you want to read all of them, that's fine. Maybe.
No, I don't care.
Jeff, you want to take this one?
I don't have the list. Open.
Oh, okay. I'll do it.
So,
Actually, I want to do Thor. Give me Thor.
Wow.
Wait, isn't Thor first? Shouldn't Thor be
No,
first?
I don't think so.
Because after Captain America,
Oh.
it's Thor.
Oh no, yeah, no, it wasn't.
what?
The films? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, chronological by film.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it
guys.
should be Thor.
No, it shouldn't.
Agent
They're
Carter
both the
was
same
Captain
year,
America.
guys. 2011.
Oh, I thought they
Were
knew.
you
I
talking
thought
about
Sharon
No,
Carter.
Peggy
no,
Carter.
Peggy,
Okay.
Peggy,
Talking about
bro,
Peggy
not
Carter.
Sharon.
Peggy. Okay.
Yeah, Peggy Carter.
Okay, you do this because you did Captain America, so it only makes sense. They're the same movie.
Okay, all right. I think I'm going to. I think this is going to turn into a two-parter, guys.
I think so.
because
We're already over an hour.
Let's see. We got Avengers. And we kind of started kind of late.
Want to just finish the Captain America stuff and then
And we're
That sounds
good. And we're probably going to spend some time talking about the potential castings for the Scarlet Witch
Yep.
because they're hilarious.
They-
Yeah, let's end off Captain America.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that.
All right, cool. Yeah, so for the role of Peggy Carter, they were considering Alice Eve, who I love. I think she is the perfect Susan Storm. There's nobody else that could fit that role as physically, like a physical perfect match to
I don't know about that.
Sue Storm. Oh, dude, she looks exactly like her in the comic book.
She looks like her, yes, but
Yeah.
she's not the only one that looks like her. She's
No.
kind of like Steve Rogers. Like a lot of people look like Steve Rogers, and it's down to like the minute details that give them the role.
Like,
you know,
but even like the the class and the refinement, like I feel like Alice Eve has got that down locked. Gemma Arterton was also considered for Agent Carter as well as Black Widow, and Keira Knightley was considered for Agent Carter. I think that's like I think when you have a British character and she's a really good-looking woman, I just think you have to call Keira Knightley. Like it's just something you have to do. You know, you gotta call Keira Knightley.
You don't necessarily want her for it, but it's like a courtesy. It's decreed by the queen.
Yeah, exactly. You have to call Keira Knightley, Kate Beckinsale, and Elizabeth Hurley, and you have to be like.
I was gonna say
"Do
Kate
you want this?"
Beckinsale. If she was younger, is my Agent Carter.
Bro, have you seen her now? She still looks younger.
Yeah,
I
she's a
know.
smoke show.
I actually love her so much.
She's a smoke show dude.
Hey man, careful how you talk about my girl.
Oh, okay.
She's a woman. She's a
Gotcha.
lady.
She's a lady.
Gotcha. And again, Emily Blunt declined the role of Agent Carter.
Who's she thinking? Like, who's
Well,
she
was there a
thinking?
reason for this one? Because she turned the other one down because she was locked in contract, or did she just turn down
I don't
Carter?
know. I don't know. Maybe it was too much of a bit part for her. Maybe she wanted something more. Maybe she wanted to.
Maybe she knew that Agent Carter wasn't gonna make it out of this movie because it's a period piece.
That's
even
true.
though she did come back.
That's
like,
true.
a little bit.
I want to be an Avenger and nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, so who are you guys picking for your understudy for Peggy Carter?
Kate Beckinsale. She's
She's
not on the list, but I'm
but
injecting
you're
it.
picking Kate Beckinsale. Okay. All right, Jeff, who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Chris.
Please pick somebody from this list.
Oh no.
You can pick it back on mine.
Probably Alice Eve.
Okay. I'm going to say Alice Eve too. But if it conflicts with her becoming Susan Storm, I don't want that. But yeah, okay. Taco?
I think Keira Knightley would have been a nice little Peggy Carter.
Yeah, I think
see
so.
it. She would have been. I can see her just being Elizabeth Swan from Pirates
Yeah,
of the
I was
Caribbean.
going to say that.
She's got
I
that
was gonna say
smile,
that.
you know. She got that smile
Yeah,
Peggy Carter does for
she has
sure.
a smile. Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have to act less like happy, I guess, and more composed because she's a spy. But like other than that, I think
Yeah,
she.
but I can always see her putting people in place, like how Peggy Carter does. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
Right. Yeah.
But I do love Hayley Atwell because she's got that pinup, like that 40s, 50s pinup look.
Yeah.
Like she's got everything that gives her that physical presence. That like she looks like she's from that time period. Like that's the vibe I get from her. So
again, I think we should really just give a hand to the casting directors of the
Yeah,
Marvel universe,
100%.
because they did such
Oh, yeah.
like it's so hard to even like suggest someone
Hayley
else
Atwell
nowadays
is
because it's just like
perfect for Carter for sure.
yeah, Hayley Atwell's great.
like even all like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. like these were like they like especially who they were going up against, like what could have been and then what was been. It just shows that hey, these guys actually
For
knew
sure.
what they were doing,
And actually,
Certainly
another thing to kind of put on the spotlight is them replacing an actor that left. That, like for example, Don Cheadle and Mark Ruffalo were perfect replacements for their original counterparts,
Yep.
right? Like, how do you replace like what's his name?
Edward Norton
Sorry,
and Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I know Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
3, 2. Like, how do you replace Edward Norton, right? But it worked perfectly because not only did they like need to replace him tonally, but they had to replace the actor because the actor didn't want to do it anymore, and they did it like in such a great way. This like reinvention of this character. So yeah, I agree. Like casting, hats off to the casting directors for this.
Yeah, no, they're very good at what they do. For
And
sure.
Terrence Howard just got greedy. Let's be real here.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but he's like, come on,
You're asking for the same money as
somebody
Tony
else.
Stark? Get
Yeah.
out of here.
like you're a supporting actor. Like
Yeah.
Oh, and I just checked. Emily Blunt also had a scheduling conflict for Peggy Carter.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah?
the two movies she had scheduling conflicts is for Edge of Tomorrow and Into the Woods. Those are the two why she couldn't be in the MCU.
No.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, she was in that. I knew that, but I just didn't know what the time period was. Okay, so Sharon Carter. There's some interesting names here that really kind of jump out at you.
And they're all from like opposite corners of
Oh yeah, they're very
they
opposite
swung,
of each other.
Like, yeah, they went everywhere with this one. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So I got Anna Kendrick, who is what was she in recently?
Up in the air.
I don't know. She's
Pitch
from the Pitch
Perfect.
Perfect franchise. Scott
Scott
she's
Pilgrim. Yeah, she's done a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's in Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, that too. Felicity Jones, who was what's her face in Rogue One. What was that character's name again? Yeah, we got Felicity Jones, who was Jyn Erso in Rogue One. Yeah, so there's Imogen Poots, who apparently was in 28 Days Later. That's really the only movie I've ever seen with her in it. Has anybody seen anything else with her?
Yeah, she was also in, what was that movie called? Popstar. It was a really small role. She was also in Need for Speed in 2014.
The one with Aaron Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, he is, but we're not going to give away who he's on the list for because that's it's a pretty big shock actually. I was kind of excited to see his name there. So the ones that really jump out at me obviously are Emilia Clarke, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Alison Brie, and Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen was considered for Sharon Carter. I'm glad she ended up where she ended up. Elizabeth Olsen. I would have loved to see Alison Brie in the Marvel Universe. That would have been amazing. I have a big crush on Alison Brie. I think Alison Brie is amazing.
Who doesn't, man?
and she's amazing in Community, and I think she could have been great. But anyways, so we got quite a couple. We got quite a few here to pick for our alternate for Sharon Carter. So Chris, who you picking?
Honestly, I might have to go. I wasn't sure until you read this. Felicity Jones, only because I want to see her in more things.
Okay.
Like I think it was kind of a shame that we only got a one-off Star Wars movie with her.
Okay.
And yeah, I just kind of wanted to see her. And the thing is, I think I have a feeling that they didn't really know the direction they were going to go with Sharon Carter. That's why all of these casting roles are kind of all over the place.
Right.
They're kind of trying to find a flavor. So I don't mind plopping an actor that I just want to see more of in this role and see what she can do with it. Because I suspect there was a lot of room for play. Yeah, so I'd say Felicity Jones.
Okay. Jeff, who are you picking?
Teresa Palmer.
Okay. Why Teresa Palmer?
I just think she was close enough to the role already, who they chose, that I think she could have done a good job. I don't know. I kind of like her, and I think she's pretty enough to be Sharon Carter.
Okay. Very cool. I'm gonna go with Alison Brie because I'm a huge Alison Brie fan. I would probably have to. I'm hoping they would try and do something with her hair to kind of like lighten it up a bit because she's got a lot of dark features, and Sharon Carter is definitely a blonde in the comic books. Well, the Sharon Carter that we know is Agent 13, especially from the Civil War storyline, which I think is where they were trying to kind of pull from the Ultimates and Civil War and all that. So I think that probably would have been a good idea. Taco, who you picking?
I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to pick because I feel like Sharon, like especially the role of Sharon Carter. It's not like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's very hard. Like I don't know.
It's a small role.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a small role, and then there's some good names here. Like I feel like I could see why they didn't get picked. Like they could do a lot more. I think I might have to go with Alison Brie too. I think because I just want to see her in the Marvel movie. You know what I mean?
That'd be great. Yeah. I want to see her enter Marvel too at some point. I don't know I don't know who she could play at this point. Oh, you know who I was hoping for. I hope she was gonna get She-Hulk. But when I heard Tatiana Maslany got She-Hulk, I was really happy about that. But I was hoping it was gonna be Alison Brie. Somebody did like some sort of Photoshop of her as She-Hulk in the Avengers uniform, and it looked amazing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I could definitely see her as Jennifer Walters. Like Jennifer Walters for sure. She-Hulk, not too sure on. Like I don't think she's had a lot of physical roles, like where she was being, she had to fight somebody or whatever. So, actually that's not true. In Community, she was pretty active in the paintball episodes.
Paintball episodes.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. I've actually got an interesting fact about those paintball episodes. That's how the Russo brothers scored their Marvel opportunity. Was the paintball episodes. It's pretty crazy. Huh. Just the paintball episodes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool. All right. So we got two more here. Crossbones. Nicola Coster-Waldau was up for it. Kevin Durand and Josh Holloway. Josh Holloway, if you guys remember Lost,
I would have loved
was
Josh
Sawyer.
Holloway.
What?
I would have loved that.
Ooh.
Sawyer was like my favorite part of Lost, and I think that guy, he could have killed Crossbones.
Definitely was the best, yeah.
Yeah, he was Sawyer, and he was also had his own TV show about I can't remember the name of it, but it was really good. It was like aliens. Colony, that's it. Colony. I actually enjoyed Colony. Colony's great. Colony's really good. He's a dope actor. He's a really good actor, actually.
I think not for Crossbones, in my opinion. I think Crossbones needs to be more of like. I don't think I like Nikolai Coster-Waldau. I don't know if I said that right. Either because I think it needs to be more visceral, more like
he looks so soft,
meatheady.
Soft.
Yeah, it needs to be more meatheady, which Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
that's my pick for him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I loved Frank Grillo as Crossbones. I
do too.
Yeah, I thought Frank Grillo was great. Okay, so Falcon. Michael B. Jordan is the only other name here. He actually read for the role of Falcon. I think he could have pulled that off totally. I think he actually looks like Falcon in the comics right around the time of Civil War. So I think he could have pulled that off for sure. But I love Anthony Mackie.
Me too.
Anthony Mackie's just got a great attitude and a great personality. And, I don't know if you know this story, but he actually wrote, like he wrote Marvel saying, give me any role in any comic book movie. He's like, I just want to be a part of this experience. I just want to be a part of this universe. And you got Sam Wilson. So, well, guys, it's getting kind of late. We're going to shut the episode down here, and we'll continue on in the next episode. So this is going to be a two-parter, so be sure to look out for the second part of this. We still got some great franchises, great films to break down with some of the potential casting opportunities that were for each movie. So we've got The Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther. So we still got all those to go through. So come back for that. There's some really, really cool stuff and some really interesting casting choices that you would not expect for a lot of these movies. There's going to be a lot to talk about. So be sure to come back. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. Taco, buddy, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you participating in our conversation.
Yeah, no problem. It was good to be on. You guys are awesome. Always love to talk about comics and fan fiction. You know how we do.
Yeah, we geek out. We love to geek out. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. So before we go, we just dropped our spoiler hot review of Wonder Woman 1984. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that. We've also got a couple of episodes that you should definitely check out. Our Lord of the Rings breakdown and our Mandalorian season 2 finale, which was great. Please check that out. And if you could, you get an opportunity, drop us a review. You can drop us a review at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser. If you could, we would really appreciate if you could drop us a review at Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, or Stitcher. That would be awesome. And be sure to tell your friends about our show. If you have any friends who are like-minded, super nerds, super fans like you, be sure to tell them about our show. We'd love to reach some more people. So we're going to sign off here. But before I do, I'd like to thank our producers. Big shout out to Rafi Bedrosian. Thanks again, buddy. You're always doing a great job for us. We really appreciate all your effort and all your time. So we're going to sign off here. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Frank McGuire.
I'm Chris Abana.
And I'm Jeff Mack.
And I'm Taco Brown.
Peace.